everybody, my name is Lonnie Summers and welcome to Running Denver TV. I'm here with my co-host, Melissa Minsick. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
And we're at a very cool and kind of spooky place today. We're bringing you the show for episode 2 of Running Denver TV. And you must like us because we're here with season 2. We got a great show for you today.
Yes, today we're going to be talking with Terry Chiplin. We're going to head over to Runners Roost Lakewood to talk about running in the dark, being that daylight savings is right around the corner. And of course, our review preview will get you caught up on recent events as well as let you know what's coming up. And
speaking of coming up, not that we're trying to like promote too much or anything like that, but I'm feeling kind of candy-ish, which reminds me that Halloween is coming up. And our location today is kind of spooky in honor of Halloween. It's been around for a long time. It's got quite of an interesting history and definitely a place that can freak you out at night.
Definitely.
You guys know where we're at? Stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Running Denver TV. I'm Lonnie Summers here with Melissa Minsick. Did you guys figure out where we're at? We're at beautiful Cheeseman Park, although beautiful, but haunted. It is actually one of Colorado's most haunted, allegedly, places. It's a former cemetery, and I think Melissa's got a little bit of background about it as well.
Yes. When the city of Denver decided to spruce the area up in the early 1800s, they hired a not-so-great guy to move the cemetery, and he actually did not quite finish the job. So it's estimated that of the 6,000 people that were buried here, 2,000 still remain.
Ooh, that's very spooky.
Yeah. The park was later renamed Cheeseman Park after Walter S. Cheeseman, a prominent drugstore owner and a railroad tycoon, and his mother donated a large sum of money for this pavilion you see here behind us.
That's pretty cool. It's actually a great place. A lot of people come out to run. I know that you live near here and you run here quite a bit.
I love it. One of my absolute favorite places in all of Denver to run, and it's just so beautiful. And despite its history, I find it quite peaceful, and I've never once seen a ghost, so you should definitely come check it out.
Have you run here at night? That's the question?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Ooh,
Don't
spooky.
tell my mom.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
So in fact, about Cheeseman Park's paranormal activity, I'm going to use my cheat sheet here because it's pretty interesting. Paranormal activity ranges from tales of visitors hearing disembodied voices. So you never heard any of that running?
No.
That's good, because a disembodied voice, that's a little freaky.
Yes.
And they would hear them whispering and groaning, seeing vanishing children, wandering the park, and even people reporting having difficulty rising from the grass, as if they were somehow being held down by something, some spiritual force. That is pretty darn freaky.
That is creepy. Well, luckily I don't stick on the grass. I stick to the trail around the park, and I actually find it quite a peaceful place. It's beautiful, it's scenic, it's really nice during the day especially. There's lots of shade, there's good spots for trees to kind of take a stop off for a minute and take a breather. Would highly recommend that people come check this out. It also is a very popular park in addition to Wash Park, but it tends not to get quite as busy, so that's part of the reason I like it as well.
Wonderful. So make sure you come and check out Cheeseman Park. Next up, we're going to do preview and review of some of our events that took place, and of course some of our great holiday themed events. I love November because everything's fun.
Yep.
We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Running Denver TV. And we're going to check out some of the events that have taken place in the last couple of weeks.
That's right. The Rock and Roll Marathon was held in Denver on October 18th. It was the final year for the full marathon, where Steven Van Gampler took first place for the men with a time of 2:43.50, and Ann Stalehi won for the women with a time of 3:13.41.
In the half marathon, Aaron Braun finished with a time of 1:07.15 for the win for the men's side, and Stevie Kramer with a time of 1:20.57 took first place for the women.
For the 10K, Tyler Dimson won for the men with a time of 34.59, and Heidi Morrison won the women's race in 42.19.
And in that wonderful 5K, Ethan Hapler-Stromberg finished first for the men with a time of 18:12, and Tara McFarland took first for the women with a time of 21:06.
And for our preview, an event that is near and dear to our hearts here at Running Denver, the Great Candy Run. The Great Candy Run benefits the Fetal Health Foundation, which Lonnie and his wife Michelle started in 2006. The Fetal Health Foundation supports families battling a fetal syndrome during pregnancy through information, support, and research. The Denver Great Candy Run is coming up on Sunday, November 8th at Wash Park, and we'd love to see all of you there.
My daughters, who are now 12, believe it or not, were actually saved by doing in utero surgery. They had a fetal syndrome and they weren't supposed to live. We were given absolutely no hope that they would survive. In fact, they were telling us the best option was to just go ahead and terminate the pregnancy and try again. So, we didn't obviously do that. We went on the internet. There was a lot of doom and gloom information, and a week later, just by some happen chance, we saw a name of a researcher, doctor. He happens to be the father of fetal surgery, and a week later we were in Tampa, Florida having in utero surgery, and he saved my daughter's lives. Now, the syndrome that they have actually kills more babies per year than SIDS. This is actually how the Great Candy Run got started. It's been a couple different names, but we started the event to raise money and awareness and bring families together to fund research and awareness about fetal syndromes. There's actually 800,000 cases of fetal syndromes every year in the United States. That's 4 times greater than breast cancer diagnosis. Wow. To give you some idea of the prevalence. Additionally, 200 babies we lose every single day to a fetal syndrome. And you have to imagine that when you're a parent and you're expecting, this is kind of where you have all your hopes and dreams wrapped up around, is in your children, and a syndrome comes along and rips that away from you. And that's what's so important about this event. Now, a lot of you might be asking, okay, that sounds very serious. Why the Great Candy Run? The idea behind it is we wanted a fun theme. We wanted something that brought people out, and for 12 years we've been very fortunate, and we've worked really hard to make it one of Denver's most beloved events, and one of Denver's largest, and actually one of Denver's most spectated events. We have over 3,000 spectators that line the course of this event. But we want it to be about family. So it's a great experience, no matter if you're the fast elite, we have prize money, or you're just want to be a family, come out and have a great day, go for a run, go for a walk. I don't care how you participate, just come out and participate. We've got live band, themes, costume contests. We have Riding for a Reason that's going to lead out with about 10 to 15 motorcycles. We'll lead out all the runners through Washington Park. It's in Washington Park. And it's just a really fabulous, fun day. A lot of great fun, a lot of fun and theme around it. And of course, we love about people getting fit, but hey, candy brings a smile to your face. And you're not going to have to stop at a candy station and eat 15 pounds of candy and then try to run. Everything in moderation. But we're very fortunate that we have Hammond's Candies. It's going to be there with our candy shop. We also have Brock's and Black Forest that are involved with us as well. So there's going to be a lot of candy, but we've got a lot of great things from Panera Bread. Again, our live band, we have an 80s cover band that's going to be there doing all kinds of fun things. And we might even have, I hear Star Wars is pretty popular right now. I think they've got something about a new movie coming out in December. If you've been living anywhere in the universe, you know about it. We'll have Star Wars characters there as well. So really, we do hope that you come out and join us. Running Denver will actually be there as well. We'll be broadcasting live from the event. And find out more information, just go to thegreatcandyrun.com.
I can't wait for the Great Candy Run. It's going to be so exciting. It'll be my first year, not running the race, but actually helping you out and working with you. So it'll be a lot of fun to be there for all that. So when we come back, Lonnie's going to be talking to Terry Chiplin, huge part of the Colorado trail running community and an amazing trainer and coach.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Running Denver TV. I'm here with my really good friend, Terry Chiplin. Terry, it's so great to have you here. Finally, we get you on the show.
Very pleased to be here.
So excited. And one of the things is that I know I've got this kind of funky accent going, but yours is much more distinguished than mine. So obviously, I know you're originally from England. What brought you to the United States and specifically Colorado?
Great question, Lonnie. Where it all started was we had a meeting with the Queen back in England, and she said, we need to send somebody over from England to Colorado to sort you guys out. So that's my job here. No, seriously, my wife and I and our family had a trip here in 1998, and we drove into Colorado through Four Corners, and we were like, wow, this is amazing. And we fell in love with the state. We discovered Denver, and we decided that at some point in the future, that when the time was right, we would come back and live here. And so we came back in 2006 and bought a house in Estes Park, and we've been here ever since, and very happy to be here.
Well, and not just, it's awesome that Colorado has you, and of course it's not just all about you just moving here is what today's segment is about. It's more about that you are really ingrained into the running community, and you're a coach and trainer and motivator and doing all kinds of stuff, and you've called yourself an athletic experience facilitator. Tell us what that means.
I wish I knew. No, seriously, it's, I think we came here with a dream, and part of what we want to do is to bring back the kind of fun and joy and connection with the natural side of running. So I think so much of running has been about hard work and training and focus and all those kind of things, which are really important. But at the same time, I think there's also a part of running that we've all been kids. And I grew up as a child, and I couldn't wait to run. First thing I wanted to do was run. Whenever I got to a place, it was like here. It's like I still feel that same pull. There's give me grass and open spaces, and I just want to run. Give me trees and forests, I just want to run. And so, we want to provide a different kind of athletic experience for people and connect them with their inner runner.
So one of the great things that we're going to be talking a little bit about is training at altitude, and you're active at altitude in some of the camps you host, which are phenomenal. But your jacket is reminding me of something very important that's been around for 3 years now, and that's the U.S. Trail Running Conference that you started. Tell us a bit more about that.
Sure. That was a really interesting journey. I mean, when we arrived here from England, then I was a road runner, not a trail runner. I had done cross country back in England, but had never really run trails that much. And when we arrived in Colorado and started running trails, that it was like, why did I not know about this before? Why did I have to wait so long? But that's the way it is. And so fell in love with trail running, became really passionate about it, still am passionate about it. I connected with the American Trail Running Association, working with Nancy Hobbs and Adam Chase, and we just formed a really close relationship. And in conversation with Nancy, she was saying that she thought trail running was at the point where it really deserved its own conference, a standalone conference. It was no longer the poor sister of road running. And so we started some plans, and working with the Estes Park Medical Center, we put on the first trail running conference in the USA in 2013. We've just had the third conference here in Estes Park, actually last 2 weekends ago, and very successful, very pleased with the progress we've made. We now have 3.5 days dedicated to trail runners, 1.5 days specifically for trail race directors, and then 2 days for trail runners, and contains a lot of informative workshops, sessions, speaker panels, expo, demos, all kinds of fun stuff, but it's the only event of its kind in this country that is dedicated to trail running, and it provides an opportunity for trail runners and race directors to network, share experiences, and grow this exciting sport.
That's fantastic, and so that kind of leads me into some of the training stuff that you do as well. So tell us a little bit more about Active at Altitude, and probably one of the things too is we live in Colorado, and of course you're up at Estes Park, so you're sitting at around 8,000 feet. Yeah. We're at a mile high, a little above 5,000 feet. And people love to come. Obviously, it's huge for Olympians training here and stuff like that. So there's a lot of advantages, but people come here and it can be tough on them. So tell us more about Active at Altitude.
Sure. Yeah, the idea, the concept behind Active at Altitude was that we saw this from back in England, and we're looking at Boulder and Colorado and Denver, and we're thinking, okay, elite athletes have been coming out here for quite some time and training at altitude. And they get the benefit, physiologically, but also psychologically as well. It's wonderful to run in clean, clear air, and they have the kind of climate that we do. But then the other aspect that we wanted to provide was kind of altitude training for the masses. And so anybody benefits from training at altitude. It doesn't matter how fast you are, how slow you are, everybody benefits. So we wanted to provide something that was going to be altitude training for recreational athletes as well as elite athletes. And everybody benefits. The same benefits happen no matter what pace you run at. So we set up Active at Altitude and the camps that we have, and we've had athletes come literally from all over the world. We've had athletes come and train with us from Japan, from Australia, from New Zealand, all across Europe, from South America, and across the States as well.
And now let's talk about more specifics, because obviously you are the experience facilitator, the athletic experience facilitator, aka coach. But for our viewers out there who might be just getting into running or haven't really done a lot at altitude, or they might feel discouraged, especially if they came from someplace else and they're running and it's a lot harder. What training advice do you have actually for anybody for training? What would you tell our viewers?
Okay. First thing is really interesting, the word you used. It's a lot harder here. Yeah? That the terminology we use sets up a preconception of what it's going to be like. Yeah? So everybody talks about running at altitude being hard or tough or challenging, and running anywhere can be hard and tough and challenging. Yeah.
Absolutely. I suck at humidity, so.
Exactly. And there's always challenges for us of different kinds. And one of the things that I've been pushing towards is changing the terminology we use about running at altitude. So I encourage people to think about running at altitude and talk about it being inspiring, motivating, fantastic, amazing, all of these things, because it is. And running is amazing, but running when you have the majestic Rocky Mountains in the backdrop and they're snow covered and you got the Colorado blue sky is just fantastic. Nothing like it.
Absolutely.
And so that's the first thing. So the terminology we use, I think, is really important. The second thing is that as runners, we tend to get kind of stuck into being focused on pace. And so anybody comes here, if they're running a 9-minute mile back at home, then when they start running, their body kind of wants them, they're used to running a 9-minute mile, so their body almost wants them to run a 9-minute mile again. Yeah? And of course, everybody runs slower at altitude. There is less oxygen available because of the partial pressure difference. So we can't run at the same pace. But yet, so many people fall into that trap, and I've been guilty of this as well. When we first come to altitude, we try and run at the same pace that we do at home, and then find it like, oh my God, I can't do this, and then get discouraged and so on. So my best advice is to forget about pace, listen to your body, listen to your breathing. So whatever breathing you do for a steady run at home, do the same breathing intensity. And that means the intensity will be the same, but your pace will be slower. And so that's what we do. A big part of what we do with the camps is to actually get people to listen to their bodies. Because so many people don't listen to their bodies and then get discouraged, get demotivated, get injured, all of the above. Whereas if we listen to our bodies, then we have a much better chance, one, of enjoying the experience, but two, being consistent as well in terms of actually running and training.
So it would be a little bit fair to say that, which makes complete sense, and I love the fact that you actually called me out on the fact of, you're using kind of like more of a negative term, and we need to change it into a positive term because there's really so much positive that comes from it, and think of it as more of exactly a positive training as opposed to being harder. It's actually, hey, my pace might be slower, but I'm getting so much greater benefit out of it.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like when, if you're in the weight room and you're doing those really big weights, you might be doing really strong. I can only get one set out, but that's going to make me stronger in the time. And after I finally get that one rep of 20 pounds up, then we'll be, okay, maybe not 20 pounds. I can maybe do 25, but then we're going to be stronger for it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Especially for a runner, we're all legs. Upper body strength is not there. So that's really fascinating to talk about that. And it almost sounds like a little bit too that it helps us going back to simplifying things. Right. We really are, in talking all this, you make me want to go up to Estes Park and hang out for a week right now and just get some downtime. But really, you're talking about listen to your breathing, basically get rid of the watch, get rid of your Map My Run, get rid of your phone, and just go out there and run and enjoy your surroundings and stuff. I think we are probably too connected. Everything's about pace and everything's about hitting this time marker and everything's about hitting this type of stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of what you're saying is we can probably improve our running so much better if we kind of negate those things, just listen to ourselves and go out and run and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not that technology doesn't have a place in our lives. It is useful sometimes to have like a benchmark training session where you can see, okay, how have I progressed in terms of my training? But it doesn't mean, as you say, that we need to be permanently connected. And then when we get permanently connected to technology, then we're not necessarily, as you say, listening to ourselves. We're not necessarily paying attention to what's going on around us. What beauty there is and what wildlife we connect with and what the air is feeling like on our face. It's all of these things can get left behind. But yeah, you make a really good point that I think it's so important that if we use positive terminology, if we think about things positively and use positive psychology, then our experience and our perceptions are so different. And it doesn't matter what we do. I mean, we're here talking about running, but that's that's an important part of our lives. But it's also true for our lives in general as well. But I also wanted to share with you guys that next month we'll be introducing a phone app, a mobile phone app.
Very cool.
It's called Active Acuity, and it's all based around positive guided imagery. And it's basically audio sessions that you listen to on a daily basis, and each session has a specific target or focus. And the reason for the app is that we found working with athletes, especially in terms of mental preparation, is that as athletes, and like most human beings, we struggle with negative views of ourselves, with negative self-perceptions. And that impacts not only our training, but also our racing and performance and experiences too. And so Active Acuity is about getting people to think about not only themselves, but other people and their situations in a positive way. As I said, each session is 10 minutes or between 10 and 15 minutes. And it just provides a wonderful breath of fresh air. And we're working with three major athletes on this. Our good friends Melody Fairchild from Boulder, Sage Canaday from Boulder, and Joseph Gray from Colorado Springs. And each of these three athletes are contributing to the app as well. And it's going to be available next month, so look out for that, activeacuity.com.
Thank you so much, Terry, for those wonderful running tips, especially training at altitude, and really kind of how the mindset really plays into that. And I hope everyone will check out Active at Altitude for the more coaching and really getting some great benefit. I know they could benefit from your help. If you'd like to check out that full interview I had with my good buddy Terry today, please go to runningdenver.com. And by the magic of Halloween and everything spooky coming up, we're going to be joining Melissa Minsick over at Runners Roost Lakewood next week. Guess what? Daylight savings time is no more. And that means it's going to be getting darker earlier. And she's going to have some great tips and information from Runners Roost Lakewood about how to make your run safe at night.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Running Denver TV. We are here at the Runners Roost Lakewood location with Sonia and Joel, and they're going to give us some really great tips on and some things that we can use to stay safe while we're running at night. As we all know, daylight savings is right around the corner. It's going to be a lot darker, and we want to make sure you can still get out there and get your run in and be safe at the same time. So Joel, what kinds of things do you have that you might recommend to runners?
We can start first with just integrated reflectivity into apparel. So there's a lot of companies that are working these reflective hits into the pieces that you're actually wearing, so you don't have to worry as much about the accessories. Good example is what Sony's wearing here with this 360-degree reflective vest from Nike. It's little glass reflective beads that are painted onto the piece itself. So it's light, it's functional, and you can see it when you're out there at night. Some other cool pieces, we've got reflectivity built into hats. So if you're a hat person, you've got reflective hits on the front of the hat. You've got footwear that's getting reflective now. So the mesh that's built into this Nike shoe is also, it's a 3M reflective material. When lights hit it, it'll really pop so that they can see you up high, they can see you down low. Some other really simple ways to work in some reflectivity. You've got bracelets. Oh no, like that. Gloves as the temperatures are going down, into the cooler months here. A lot of people are going to be wearing gloves. So again, these big reflective hits on the gloves. So yeah, like I said, you want to make sure that you've got reflective pieces on you. And then if you're also getting out and you're in situations where you need to see, you want to be seen, but you also need to see as well. So lights are a kind of a necessity going into the darker months. So one of the big necessities is a headlamp. So again, it'll shine light on where you're headed, but it also allows people to give you, or allows people to see you as well. So you want to, some other keys, you want to be able to be seen not only from the front, but also from the back. So you always want to make sure you get, something blinging on the back of you. And always remember if you're running on roads, you should be running into traffic, and so running down the left-hand side of the road. And these reflective pieces, you want to make sure you place accordingly. You want them closest to the car. So, on Sonia's right wrist here, some of these other reflective pieces, make sure you get them on the right side.
So what kinds of, I see a couple of different lights here. So and they all attach easily to apparel. Is it just a matter of preference? Would you recommend one over the other?
Yeah, just kind of whatever, personal preference. Some of them are going to be magnetic. The magnetic ones, I think you were saying earlier, you like to put it underneath a hat or attach to a piece of apparel. Sometimes they clamp. Just kind of think about the pieces that you're going to be wearing and how they might easily attach to the pieces that you're going to be wearing more often.
Okay, so I see lots of things here. We got all kinds of fun things that you can use, and I could almost kind of see how it'd be really easy to go. I guess it's not really possible to go overboard, but there's a lot of options out here. So what would you say, like, how many pieces of either reflective gear or lighting, would you recommend that a runner wears in the dark?
I think having maybe one piece of apparel is key, and then a headlamp, and then maybe one or two, something that blinks, I think is key. Even if it's reflective, I think adding that strobing component just makes it, just adds another signal for a person in a car to be able to recognize you. So I'd say probably 3 pieces.
Great. That sounds good.
And you can be safe all the way down to $10. I mean, these make great stocking stuffers. You can put this in, a little fun pack if somebody's just starting to run or whatever. I mean, these guys are $9. The vest is a limited edition, so it's going to be more expensive. But I mean, you can really get in the game for like $10 just to be safe. And the nice thing, like Joel said, is you can clip it anywhere, so you can move it during your run. So.
How about batteries for these things? Do you know what the battery life of anything is, or are there ways to replace the batteries in some of the things?
Yeah, a lot of the simple like LED sort of lights are just watch batteries, so $5 at Walmart, so pretty easily replaceable. Some of the higher powered or higher output pieces like headlamps or this handheld light from Nathan, a lot of these guys use lithium-ion rechargeable batteries. So I think this lasts for 15-20 hours on a single charge, and then you just plug it into an outlet like you would your phone or
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I hope that this helped you out a little bit with your runs and planning them for the winter months. And so thank you so much, Sonia and Joel, for being here and for letting us come and bug you at the store. This is awesome. And for those great tips.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Running Denver TV. We're so excited that you joined us for this week's show. Thank you to Runners Roost Lakewood and Melissa Minsick being out there doing the wonderful tips about running at night, and my good buddy Terry Chiplin from Active at Altitude and the U.S. Trail Running Conference. We hope you enjoyed today's show. We'll see you next time on Running Denver TV. Be sure to check it out at runningdenver.com.